Yeah,
You're
I'll check
welcome.
it out.
Yeah.
They do amazing work.
Well, we're lucky, and that's one of the things I was saying. Hey, Sadie, I've got Mary Faith on the line, because I think back to when, geez, Val Folkema back in 95, 96, I think, when it was the Performance Partnership and still kind of under the counties, but then it's what it's become is truly amazing, and what it does for our young people. She was talking about the kids. I mentioned the young people that did the work on Holden Creek, and now they're planting trees. They're doing all kinds of stuff, and it's from our youngest up to even the college now, and everyone can get involved. Mm-hmm. I'm impressed with them. One thing thank you for, as usual, I appreciate the county and his update meeting, as I believe a lot of people do. But then we just got the governor's report. We're not doing so good. I just saw 1,072 cases today and 4 more in Tillamook.
Yeah, we're not doing well at all.
No.
As a state or locally.
Or anywhere. And
yeah.
Mary Faith, correct me if I'm wrong, but when the governor says shut it down, she means shut it down. And that doesn't mean people should go to Tillamook because we only had 4 cases and Multnomah County had however many.
Right. But as of today, this morning anyway, I believe that Marlene said we have 94.
Okay.
And so by next week, Tillamook County should be over 100 if we keep it up at the current pace. Mm-hmm. And so we're not, for a long time we kind of felt like, well, it's not really happening here.
Yeah, we've only got
happening.
6 of them. Yeah, we don't have any. And then it's just been steady.
Yeah. Yep. It's happening here now and at an increasing rate and all over the state. You're right. The numbers are really distressing. They said 42 Oregonians died from it last week. They said this in the noon press conference. And I heard today that 2 people under 30 and younger have died this week. And
there was a 35-year-old yesterday, and there was a 62-year-old, which I don't think I'm speaking out of turn because I think that it even hit you, that no underlying conditions.
Right.
And that's what's, and it was kind of quick. It was like at the test, and then 3 weeks later they're gone. And certainly they might have been not feeling well before, but we all need to pay attention. And this is not... Thanksgiving and Christmas are just not going to be like they always are, but they'll be back next year if we pay attention. Right. Maybe everybody will be at the party too.
Well, yes, hopefully. That's certainly the hope that, I wouldn't want to host a gathering that caused people to get sick or potentially die. And so I think our gatherings will be smaller and, the new guideline sheet, the governor put out a new guideline. If people haven't read about it or heard about it yet, they're calling it the 2-week freeze, although that may not be accurate. The 2 weeks part may not be accurate at all, but that's what they're saying it is now. So it'll be November 18th through December 2nd, and there's a bunch of restrictions, new restrictions. So for Thanksgiving, the social gathering guideline is no more than 6 people. So that's down. It was 10, now it's 6, from only 2 households. So you can't bring in several households together. You can only have 6 people total and 2 households. And so I think what that looks like is, small, intimate gatherings and then connecting with other people on Zoom or connecting with other people other days. We're talking about that in my family, maybe. Some people get together on Thanksgiving Day, and then other people get together that weekend. And so, just smaller, careful gatherings. And some of the other things that are new that I've been madly sending out emails about to help people get ready is the restaurants will be takeout only for those 2 weeks, and restaurants. I double checked this. Restaurants includes bars because they're licensed in the same way, and so takeout food only. I don't know what the OLCC regulations are about takeout alcohol, but I assume they're pretty strict. So
I think you can.
Yeah. So So takeout food only for those 2 weeks. Limiting churches and faith-based venues to 50 people outside, and only 25 people inside. And closing a bunch of things. We'll close the museum again. They're closing all indoor recreational facilities, pools, sport courts.
The Y.
Right. Mm-hmm. And closing venues. So, that includes the fairgrounds, of course, any place where people gather for social activities.
When and it starts like
Wednesday the 18th.
Wednesday the 18th.
Yeah, and goes through the 2nd of December.
Well, I have to admit, I don't think it's going, okay, well, let's not do anything. The virus is saying it's going to just hold off until next Wednesday because that's when it's set. Because I'm kind of thinking I'm pretty sure there's a bazaar out at the fairgrounds this weekend. I wonder how they're going to do that.
There is. And so the ban doesn't take effect until the 18th. I haven't talked to Cammie about it yet, but I think it starts today. So
yeah, but I'm sure they're trying to make.
They did it last weekend, and they're following all the COVID guidelines, and everybody's masked and distanced, and you have
Mary
to
Faith,
keep your distance from other people. Go ahead.
I'm glad that they are. I think that we can do some things if we're careful and we pay attention. And it's a way, in my mind, when you see them, they're having to accept, wear your mask, keep your distance, wash, do these things. It's like it's a learning environment too. Well, I can do it if I do these things.
Yeah. So I think, yes, I agree. They are being careful, and and they're getting in the nick of time.
That's right. I did kind of think, well, it's nice the virus is going to hold off until next Wednesday, so we'll be fine.
Right, you're absolutely right about that. But I would be willing to bet that there are people who are going to go out to eat this weekend while they still can.
Yes,
in restaurants. So. Yeah, because it's human nature. We just barely started to feel like we were headed back to normal, and now it's going the opposite way. But
we kind of knew
that might happen with this virus, and there's a lot of concerning things about it. But the what's happening in hospitals is among the most concerning things, because in Region 1, we heard from Eric Swanson, who's the president of Adventist Health Tillamook, this morning, that in Region 1, which is a hospital region that includes Portland and the coast, there are only, I think he said, 16 ICU, maybe 15 ICU beds or units available in the entire region, and 2 of them are here.
Oh, woman.
And 13 in Portland. And so what that means is that then they followed up on that in the governor's press conference, that COVID-19 hospitalizations are up 50% in the last week alone. So the hospitals are filling up with COVID-19 patients, and when the ICUs are full, when people get it and they're very, very sick and they have to be on a ventilator, to save their lives. Mm-hmm. That when those places are full, then what are we going to do? Or, God forbid, hospitals are full of people with COVID-19, and then you have some other kind of emergency. We're at risk of not being able to take care of our sickest citizens,
exactly.
And so that's just, that should be concerning to everyone.
Well, I kind of like it when we have a little happier conversation, but I'm not happy right now. Oh, wait a second. I got something that's kind of fun. Pies. I know you didn't get to bake your pies, but I was just talking to Lauren before I talked to Christy, and the only thing they've got left on the $25 pies is some of Nelia's pumpkins. They're doing really good.
Great.
Oh, they're just doing wonderful.
Great. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm still going to get over there, but I had my eye on an apple, and I went back, and those are all gone. Yeah, I'm going to settle for a pumpkin pie. It's Thanksgiving. So.
That's great.
I'm very pleased that, and that was Christy was talking about how they've made arrangements when they used to have their natural species sale or whatever. They kind of took a leaf from the Manzanita Farmers Market and had a thing where you could drive through and they pop your trunk and they load in your ones that you'd ordered online. And so I think a lot of places have Lauren said they'd already raised $2,000 for food routes.
That's fabulous.
I know it.
Yeah, that's really great.
So,
well, good. I did miss baking pies for that event, but yeah, I'll have to bake pies for.
I'm impressed. I can maybe make brownies sometimes.
Right now is I bake, and then I have delicious baked goods in my house, and I live alone.
Oh yeah, good point. That's why when I make brownies, I know I'm making me the brownies because I tell Vince, if you're going to eat some, you better take them to work, honey, because they're not going to last. Yeah. Mom used to say that because she bake these really amazing cookies, and she'd always say, "Well, the only bad thing is they just won't keep." You know?
Right.
They get eaten up right away. But see, that we did wrap things up on a high note. Now, one of the things you talked about, and it sounded like I wasn't quite sure on that land use matter for Pacific City. Will there? Mm-hmm. Does it look like we will have a 25-unit apartment building down there?
Yes, that was confusing this morning. And so a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was an appeal. It's workforce housing. That a 25-unit place, and I've seen the drawings for it. It looks like it'll be beautiful, like cedar sided. You know, it should fit right in with the other places there. And it kind of reminded me of the look of the Village Marketplace there on Bruton. You know, the one across from Sportsman.
Yep.
It kind of looks like that, like very attractive cedar siding. And so, at 25 units of workforce housing. And so that means that the rents will be contained to a certain the standard of workforce housing, which I honestly, to be honest, I can't remember what it is right now. But they won't be sky high. So the intention of it is that it will be, working people would be able to afford one of these apartments. And it was, the Planning Commission approved it. It was appealed. The appeal came to the commissioners. The commissioners, we weighed the appeal, and in land use matters, there's a bunch of criteria to look at, and does this project meet all these criteria? And it did. We found that it did, and so we denied the appeal. So we upheld the Planning Commission's decision to allow that workforce housing in Pacific City. And what happened today was just us signing the order. So we weren't able to sign it on the day that we passed it. So it was kind of confusing to listen to because we weren't deciding on anything today. We were just codifying what we decided several weeks ago.
Well, very good, and certainly workforce housing desperately needed. Is that I know that we have limits on when building windows and that, but it looks like something that'll be ready by next year sometime.
I hope so.
Oh, I hope so too. So. Yeah, wonderful. And see, there's another good thing. I'm kind of impressed. Not kind of impressed. I'm very impressed with we have tried to stay busy and the way we have worked through this pandemic and helping those. I know that there's some desperate people that are still very desperate. And I'm not sure if we're going to, right now everything seems kind of up in the air. I'm looking forward to the new administration. I'm also not so blind not to realize that I'm saying, well, I'm hoping it has something good for us in 3 months, because it's the January 20th before he takes the reins, and it isn't like, and I have a feeling that President-elect Biden knows how to hit the ground running. He's doing good.
There's lots of evidence that he's putting his teams and his plans together so that they'll be ready.
What was that David was talking about? Kate maybe going to Washington.
Well, yeah, you're talking about Representative Gomberg was talking about someone. Who did he say that was? Someone from the governor's office or the governor's circle is going to work for the Biden-Harris team. And so there's speculation in Salem that, like, well, what if they invite Governor Brown to go work for the Biden-Harris team? And then if that happened, who would replace her? And because there are laws about who can replace a governor. And so he said that if it happened before January, it would be Tobias Reed, the treasurer. And if it happened after the swearing in January, it would be the brand new Secretary of State.
Jemima Fagan.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but there's no...
and that's not unusual. I mean, look at the...
gossip.
Sure, and that's gossip. But I look at back when... Oh, and I did like Neil Goldschmidt there for a while until things fell apart for the gentleman. But he was tapped for... and that was, the 70s, I guess. I'm old.
Well, yes, I think that administrations do look at who, nationwide, who are strong leaders nationwide. And
well, so I think our governor.
I recall, was it Kitzhaber?
Kitz was.
And he was invited, but he didn't want to. He wanted to stay here and work for Oregon, which I appreciated. Well,
look at Governor Isaac. I mean, we've had some governors that have really, though I wouldn't be surprised if Cuomo wouldn't think he'd make a good president too. I think I've listened to the Governor Cuomo's reports, and people can say what they will, but it was reassuring when a lot of people. I just want to know what's going on, and I felt informed when that man spoke.
I absolutely agree. He did a really, really good job of communication early on in the crisis when not a lot of organizations were doing that. And a lot of Americans tuned into his reports, and I thought they were well done.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, again, I thank the county for having the update meetings, for trying to keep us informed. And I really appreciate the fact that Maria gets here early and makes sure that they're on the air too. So
yes,
the only thing I got to do is turn on my radio. Well, anything else going on?
There's all kinds.
Of course, there is.
But we could probably pause here.
Okay, I think because I feel like we kind of left her on a high note, and I want you to have an excellent weekend. That weather. That's startling. I was glad to see it's kind of indecisive now, but it sure was startling last night. Were you part of the power outage up there?
Yep, because I'm in North County. I had to get ready in the dark and come to work to get a cup of coffee.
For some reason, it hits us just to the north of us because Telso's out there on the old road. We'll lose their power, and for some reason, we're in the different grid. Apparently, obviously.
Oh, so. That's good. That's good. Yeah, they said it was a feeder line that comes to North County from the east, and so maybe you're right on the cutoff of that because it was everybody, and it wasn't PUDs to fix. So we had to wait
Pacific, wasn't it?
Pacific or something to find the feeder line that was down.
Oh well, at least you're back.
Yeah,
you're back now. All right, woman, you have a good weekend.
You too. Pleasure to talk to you.
Always. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.